she was suspended before the panel was actually established. And none of the reasons that have come forth so far in terms of her misconduct and performance indicates that it is any gross misconduct of her duty, which is what is basically there for her sacking in the Constitution.
But the government is investigating a civil servant. It has the right to do that, surely? Or are you implying, or by your action, saying that the government of Sierra Leone has no basis upon which to be suspicious of anything that Ms. Lara Taylor-Pierce may have done?
Obviously, the government has the right to investigate its civil servants. At the same time, for a supreme audit institution like the Audit Office of Sierra Leone to be independent, the Auditor General needs to have immunity in the discharge of her duties. And we have principles guarding best practices for independent supreme audit institutions. And as I said, we have not seen anything in the arguments that have been put forward suggesting gross misconduct. So we would also like the government to actually come out in the open with the reasons and the rationale behind this.
And are you suspicious of the government in this regard? Do you think that they have no reason or no basis?
Well, having known Lara and her high standing and her track record, I'm in no doubt that she is a person of incredible integrity and courage. We've seen her over many years challenging the government through her investigations and audit reports. And as I said, the timing of this, just ahead of the release of the 2020 audit report, where also stories that have been in the media of Sierra Leone suggest that there is corruption and mismanagement, is highly opportunistic and suspicious.
You've made a very strong call here. Why are you taking it so seriously as the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions?
We are unfortunately seeing around the world that democratic backsliding is happening in a lot of countries, and that the audit offices and independent oversight is being challenged increasingly. So for us, it's extremely important to fight for the principles of independent oversight and be very clear on what we expect in terms of that. And for us, what is happening now in Sierra Leone, as I said, is extremely concerning.
So what are the implications for Sierra Leone if the government refuses to budge?
Well, if the Auditor General is ultimately fired, I think it sends a very strong signal that in Sierra Leone, independent oversight is not welcomed. And also, reporting from the media of Sierra Leone, it's very clear to us that the audit service basically stands out as one of the few organizations that still have been managed to remain independent and provide independent oversight during these years. So I think it would send a very, very strong and bad signal.
That's Enna Gorison from the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions. And we approached the government of Sierra Leone for a response, and a spokesperson told us, said they'd rather wait for the official investigation.
In Sierra Leone, President Mada Bio's decision to suspend the country's Auditor General Lara Taylor-Pierce has caused shock and disquiet in Sierra Leone.
The suspension comes weeks before her office is due to present an annual audit of the government's handling of public finances in 2020. Taylor-Pierce has served as Auditor General for 10 years, earning a reputation for efforts to improve public sector accountability.
Apart from that, Jane, she earned international praise for her real-time audit of the Ebola pandemic response funding from 2014 to 2016, which uncovered significant corruption.
But what's the reason behind her suspension? Here is our correspondent in Freetown, Claudia Anthony.
Well, according to Lara Taylor-Pierce, she was handed a letter which was signed by the Secretary to the President, and that letter informed her that the Attorney General has been asked to set up a tribunal which would look into her professional performance or non-professional performance. So it was with that letter she was informed she and her deputy should proceed on indefinite suspension with immediate effect.
And has she reacted to her suspension?
Yes, she has reacted to her suspension. Lara Taylor-Pierce says that she's ready to cooperate with any tribunal with guidance from her legal representative. And she also said she's ready to defend her reputation anywhere, anytime.
What are citizens saying, given that she's someone held in high regards both locally and internationally because of exposing corruption both in the previous government and the current one?
Actually, people are shocked. Some are even angry, like most people I've spoken to. And for example,
very, very good morning and welcome to a program we call KOL RES, right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Also, we will discuss issues that with the front page of the different newspaper them the Polnado for the morning. And the way we can all look at what's in at the front page, we can bring people away, they can help we follow, we talk about the issue then the first. We go inside the paper them, what's in at the front page. The first one we begin with this morning. Now, the Forum newspaper will say APC-SLPP should unite to serve Sierra Leone. JFK, the impeccable leader to transform Sierra Leone. Climate change is real. CSOs challenge credibility of Auditor General tribunal findings. Another story for Inside the Nation of the Forum newspaper. The Home newspaper, you can speak on behalf of your PCs, the DC chairman, and money for repairs gone through. DHMT bonds to explain, and NMSA engage councils on drugs and medical supplied procurement streamlining. The Global Times newspaper say defense of the disgrace suspended Auditor General purely in ludicrous. VP Julia Jallo launches Women in Tourism Congress. And Sierra Leone, Mali strengthening bilateral ties. APC divided over Auditor General's removal. The Bow Times newspaper, Sierra Leone record steady progress in the 2024 Mo Ibrahim Index. Fele Tech City to generate over 30,000 jobs. Vice President calls for innovative means to generate resources to spend in the social sector. The Gleaner newspaper, President's Bureau explores collaboration for Fit Salone program with CAM. Okay, and promo, sorry about that. Agriculture Minister highlights government effort at transforming food security. The Nationalist newspaper, Mother Bill's credibility destroyed. APC wants Lara Telopias to stay. Salone suffering sets to quadruple. And AZ newspaper, BSL unveils strategic plan for 2024-2028. Supporting Bill's Feed Salone project. US Ambassador launches $400,000 agriculture initiative for Sierra Leone. Parliament calls for position paper on Child Rights Act of 2024. Moped lead decentralization and population of MTNDP 2024-2030. Advocate empowers women through sexual and reproductive health rights. Concord Times newspaper, Akasel stage weak propaganda for indict said former Auditor General and Deputy. And tribunal controversy. Independent review exonerates former Auditor General and Deputy. A Greek minister reveals government's effort to build partnership in ensuring food security. Sierra Leone secures 100 scholarship from UN Tourism. FAO empowers veterinary epidemiology trainees with new skills. GIS. The Africa 24 say Ireland World Bank helps Salone fisheries to develop a roadmap. My hands are tied. Tribunal report is biased. CSO's opinion. And the fight for electoral justice, will it work? And all the people in this, when we get inside the program this morning, we'll take a break and then we come back for bring we get them inside the program.
In Sierra Leone, President Mada Bio's decision to suspend the country's Auditor General Lara Taylor Pierce has caused shock and disquiet in Sierra Leone.
The suspension comes weeks before her office is due to present an annual audit of the government's handling of public finances in 2020. Taylor Pierce has served as Auditor General for 10 years, earning a reputation for efforts to improve public sector accountability.
Apart from that, Jane, she earned international praise for her real-time audit of the Ebola pandemic response funding from 2014 to 2016, which uncovered significant corruption.
But what's the reason behind her suspension? Here is our correspondent in Freetown, Claudia Anthony.
Well, according to Lara Taylor Pierce, she was handed a letter which was signed by the secretary to the president, And that letter informed her that the Attorney General has been asked to set up a tribunal which would look into her professional performance or non-professional performance. So it was with that letter she was informed she and her deputy should proceed on indefinite suspension with immediate effect.
And has she reacted to her suspension?
Yes, she has reacted to her suspension. Lara Taylor Pierce says that she's ready to cooperate with any tribunal with guide from her legal representative. And she also said she's ready to defend her reputation anywhere, anytime.
What are citizens saying, given that she's someone held in high regards both locally and internationally because of exposing corruption both in the previous government and the current one?
Actually, people are shocked. Some are even angry, like most people I've spoken to. And for example, the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists said it is particularly worrying because in the estimation of SLAJ, the Audit Service Sierra Leone, under the leadership of this woman,
distinguished representatives of the Commonwealth, the African Union, the Growing Community of West African States, leadership and staff of the National Peace Commission of Sierra Leone, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, representatives of the Sierra Leone People's Party, comrades of the All People's Congress Party, here present, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow Sierra Leoneans, good morning. Let me start by humbly welcoming you all to this historic and defining moment of our time, which is holding an inter-political party dialogue that aims to find a consensual solution to the governance stalemate. I especially appreciate the presence of representatives from the Commonwealth, the African Union, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, who have taken their time and spent their resources to be with us here today. Their presence is a clear testament and demonstration of their commitment to the achievement of democracy, peace, security, development, and stability in our beloved Sierra Leone and elsewhere in the rest of the world. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Madam Fatou Majano, former Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia. And thank you also, Justice Sanga, for agreeing to facilitate the dialogue by joint courtesy, Commonwealth, the AIM, and ECOWAS. Hearty congratulations from the people of Sierra Leone to you, our colleague, Professor Michel Scobie, for your high academic achievement as professor a few days ago. These three institutions, together with our other development partners, they are residents in Sierra Leone, continuously engage us as a party on the need for all political parties and other stakeholders to work together to ensure a peaceful elections outcome and to commit to the tenets of democracy and the rule of law as we embark on the June 2023 presidential and general election. One important outcome of our engagements with our international partners was the signing of the Peace Pledge a few weeks before the elections, a pledge that the APC fully adhered to. For us in the APC, our paramount interest has always been, and will continue to be, the peace, security, and stability of our beloved Sierra Leone. Accordingly, our commitment to having free, fair, credible, and non-violent elections has been attested to in our several press releases before, during, and after the elections. Unfortunately, the entire electioneering process was plagued with a plethora of premeditated and carefully structured actions aimed at rigging the elections before and throughout the entire process. And this includes the perpetration of violence, intimidation, and a disproportionate display of what I would describe as gun power against the leadership, members, and supporters of the APC. We also suffered from deep-rooted ethno-regional drive that has succeeded in dividing this peaceful nation. And worst of all, from state capture and partisan use of public institutions, including all elections management bodies, which further deepen the divide in the country and fuel the brutalization of the opposition in their homes, as well as in their communities. Many simply because they are either APC, or they are Northwesterners, or they are perceived not to have voted SLPP. And above all, as carrying a samurai identity. Your Excellencies, lead facilitators, it is this premeditated and ingrained hate, along with untold anger, intolerance, and tribalistic tendencies against the Bureau regime against the opposition since 2018 that represents today the bedrock of Sierra Leone's heightened political tension. This is something we cannot ignore or set aside if we want to restore democracy and bring back peace and stability in Sierra Leone, a country with tremendous potential and prospects to build and secure lasting hope and an enviable future for all. It is worth noting that the June 24, 2023 election and its aftermath was merely a combination of the reasons that have brought us here today. Since 2018, when the APC peacefully transitioned power to the SLP, the leadership, members, and supporters of the APC party have never been at peace under this regime. We handed over power to the SLPP because we respect democracy and democratic processes. Whilst we did question the results produced by the Electoral Commission, we have no doubt that handing over power was the right thing to do. To us, the interests of the nation was much more paramount than our partisan and personal interests. Importantly, we wanted to keep the country united. Sierra Leoneans had, prior to 2018, worked very hard for 15 years to ensure that we built on the hard-earned peace and democracy that the country had enjoyed since the Civil War ended in the year 2002. However, on taking power in 2018, the SLP made it their primary focus to directly target the leadership, membership, and even sympathizers of the APC, while at the same time fragmenting the country and setting the stage for the state we are in today. The state characterized by...
All right, you still the watch KOL RES. Please want to apologize for where we play this particular video at this time. But we want for make you know, say we still get challenge, forget we get them inside the program. And that make we actually keep the program busy until we get them inside. So very sorry about that. And please continue for listening. Some of them think they're fine for listening because tomorrow person will go tell you something.
A deteriorating democratic space. The instrumentalization of police, the military, and notably the Electoral Commission Sierra Leone led to a culture of impunity that will see the Electoral Commission produce 2023 election results that did not reflect the will of the people, and that saw the leadership of the APC directly targeted at the party office while election results were being awaited, resulting unfortunately in one of our members eventually killed by the state security personnel. These and several other extrajudicial killings still remain uninvestigated. May their gentle souls rest in perfect peace and light perpetual shining for them. Whose executive, legislature, and other
do we have not forget
are only beneficiaries of stolen election. I can easily draw your attention to the very unguided utterances and some bad faith actions by members of this illegitimate administration, especially on the eve of the dialogue. This includes continuation of parliamentary sessions and threats against our elected members of parliament, mayors, chairmen, and councillors relative to their tenure and other entitlements. All meaningful political engagements of national interest are usually preceded by preambles and signaling. As a party, the APC has engaged with the stakeholders to prepare them for the dialogue and possible outcomes. In addition, we have signaled through the Peace Commission that we are coming to this dialogue with an open mind, a genuine desire for peace, and an anxious urge to reach a consensual solution that can enable the country to be back on the path to development, progress, and democracy once again. Regrettably, political posturing from some of our colleagues on the other side of this dialogue table is not sending encouraging signals to us on the APC, nor to the citizens of Sierra Leone, neither to the world at large. You cannot say you are seeking peace, but at every moment you try to put the wrong under the feet of the opposition. The targeted COI appeal cases and ongoing arrest and harassment of APC supporters are cases in point. You cannot want peace and continue to impose an acting mayor on Freetown City Council, which the SLPP lost convincingly. You cannot want to pursue peace and give ultimatums to APC elected councillors on the eve of a national dialogue. In this dialogue, we are faced with two important scenarios going forward. as a passionate but very neutral commentator indicated to me, the easy part for us, both on the dialogue table, is to stay in our entrenched positions and to dig deeper to fight only for the outcome each party believes in is right for it. For the APC to move on, it is important to look back and recognize the democratic injustice to the citizens within the context of a hastily installed illegitimate administration, as if all is normal. For the SLPP to move on, it is important to look forward while recognizing the injustice of an electoral coup against the citizens and how this can be peacefully mitigated for now and into the future. The courageous path is to change the rules of the game and to come with a spirit of reconciliation without losing the baby with the bathwater, without making the voters worse off than where they are after this unprecedented election fraud, or by avoiding a language of winning or losing, or staying strong or giving in, that boxes in our respective positions even before the dialogue starts. We have an opportunity to look for that point of equilibrium and solutions, and not where we disagree. An opportunity to put aside for this moment our party colors, intimidatory tactics, noisy supporters, and personal pride and ego, and to recognize that this is a matter of national importance, not a battleground for political giants. And finally, we have an opportunity to recognize that we need to look backwards and forwards, to be open to listening and to be mutually respectful. We in the APC are ready to do this. Are you ready, the SLPP? In conclusion, we are not doing this in a vacuum. The social, economic, and political context is obviously very challenging, and our people are suffering. The economy continues to worsen, given funding squeeze and uncertainty in domestic and international investor appetite. We owe it to our citizens to put all our efforts to build cohesion and find a win-win way forward that puts the people in full position. We are all here, both as political parties and as domestic and international facilitators, because we recognize that the present electoral and other state management systems are fundamentally broken and need urgent and sustainable fixing. We cannot fulfill the country's potential if so many of our people feel that their vote was not respected. It's a test of leadership to choose what is right, even when it is difficult, or our people may criticize us for that reason. I do recognize that our shared legacy as leaders must be that we have found a way forward that puts our people and country first. Every second, every minute, every hour, and each day we spend here at this dialogue table must point us in the right direction. But first, we must unravel and accept the truth. And therefore, thereafter, we must then have the strength and creativity to identify and collectively pursue those institutional reforms that will provide us with lasting pathways to social justice and democracy. We must swallow our ego our pride, and do what is right for our people and in the best interest of our beloved nation. Let me state that our people are curiously waiting to see what will come out of this dialogue. In this dialogue, there has to be a path to restoring democracy, and the people
immediately release the disaggregated and comprehensive final voter registration detailing the center names, the votes, the districts, the voter names, the ages, the addresses, citizens, identifiable photos and fingerprints and signatures.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. That an independent technical forensic audit of the voter register be conducted immediately to ascertain the veracity of the ages and identities of voters. This exercise must be done with the participation of representatives of political parties, regional and continental and other international partners. This is informed by our analysis of the data in the journals used for the collection of voter ID cards, which shows thousands of underage voters, thousands more of first-time voters indiscriminately allocated to Kenema and Kailam and other parts of the south and eastern region. We also found out thousands of purported voters who, according to their dates of birth, in the said journals, are over 200 years old. These several anomalies, some of them too basic, absolutely undermine not just the integrity of the final voters register, but also the capacity of ECSF to conduct the June elections, owing to the fact that, over and again, this commission has demonstrated that it does not have the competence, the integrity, and the neutrality to conduct free, fair, credible, inclusive, and acceptable elections. That, as part of the process of restoring trust in the electoral process and to ascertain the integrity of the results, the usual support of independent technical assistance from our international partners, including the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, be allowed to play their usual technical support role to PCS. Next, that the National Electoral Commission must facilitate the unhindered access and presence of universally accredited party agents and local and international observers nationwide. The government must immediately halt security agents and paid assailants from obstructing APC campaigns.
All right, welcome back. You still watch KOL RES, where it's on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Of course, we get the videos there, and plenty, you know, and interesting. This video also, plenty things and the way we need for talk about, but not so now. Inside the program this morning, we actually don't get one of our guests who don't join we inside the program. We can help we follow we discuss several issues them. We na Honorable Dr. Mfaso G. Kuruma, we na the talkman for the APC Member of Parliament them. And yesterday, them be all a program. Also, yesterday next, we been get Honorable Abdulkagbo begin can throw light on that. But we'll go to another issue quickly inside the program. No wasting time. Honorable, yesterday the press conference on be all na been two issues then at the plate, but on been focused more on one way na the issue of fake receipts and the Auditor General. But let me touch on the area of the MCC. Waiting on a concern as of now with regards to this MCC thing. Okay, we don't lost time again on the line. This is not the problem. The line not really okay this morning. The network just like yesterday and today as well. But I will see what we can get. Let's see what we can get for manage. Una patient and bear with we. Not the network. Yeah, not to any one of we making. Unable to get me? They get me unable?
Yes, sir.
at the office of this one.
You get me? Okay, I think this is another morning of challenge.
I get you.
All right. So waiting, I be the ask. Say yesterday when I've been put two things on the plate, the MCC and that of the Auditor General Tribunal. But when I focus on the Tribunal yesterday.
How about a change location?
Please,
change location.
Yes, do that, and let me see what we get from that. All right, continue for the week, and then we go see what we get. In the meantime, Lord, listen this one, while it figure out something for we better.
Immediately release the disaggregated and comprehensive final voter registration. Before the elections, release the disaggregated and comprehensive final voter registration detailing the center names, the votes, the districts, the voter names, the ages, the addresses, citizens, identifiable photos and fingerprints and signatures.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That an independent technical forensic audit of the voter register be conducted immediately to ascertain the veracity of the ages and identities of voters. This exercise must be done with the participation of representatives of political parties, regional and continental and other international partners. This is informed by our analysis of the data in the journals used for the collection of voter ID cards, which shows thousands of underage voters, thousands more of first-time voters indiscriminately allocated to Kenema and Kailam and other parts of the south and eastern region. We also found out thousands of purported voters who, according to their dates of birth in the said journals, are over 200 years old. These several anomalies, some of them too basic, absolutely undermine not just the integrity of the final voters register, but also the capacity of ECSF to conduct the June elections, owing to the fact that, over and again, this commission has demonstrated that it does not have the competence, the integrity, and the neutrality to conduct free, fair, credible, inclusive, and acceptable elections. That, as part of the process of restoring trust in the electoral process and to ascertain the integrity of the results, the usual support of independent technical assistance from our international partners, including the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, be allowed to play their usual technical support role to ECSF. Next, that the National Electoral Commission must facilitate the unhindered access and presence of universally accredited party agents and local and international observers nationwide. The government must immediately halt security agents and paid assailants from obstructing APC campaigns and intimidating our supporters. The presence of the security forces across the country before, during, and after the vote must be seriously and severely minimized in order not to scare the voters. We commit to protect ourselves. Any loss of life must be subjected to a thorough judicial investigation. Internationally recognized electoral judges should be deployed with support from the international community to swiftly adjudicate electoral disputes. Next, the government must ensure the free movement, the safety and security of all voters before, during, and after the polling day. The government should guarantee that there will be no disruptions or shutdown of the internet and or declaration of a state of emergency before and after the declaration of the results, as is being currently mooted in certain quarters. Fellow citizens, members of the fourth estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and present. The questions around the integrity of the existing voter registration, the poor quality of the voter ID cards, and critically, the tallying at the polling center and district, and the manual transfer of the results, but to be denied by the ECSL are too many and too serious issues for the APC to make any compromises on, because the potent, real, and credible antecedents to confusion, frustration among the electorate, and violence. Most importantly, electronic transmission exposes the election's results to manipulation, which will result in an outcome that will neither be credible nor acceptable. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all witnesses to our long-standing and persistent demand for the publication of the disaggregated final voter register, and how ECSL repeatedly made commitment to doing so, appealing for political parties and the public to allow them some time to sanitize the register. After an unprecedented delay last week, you all are further witnesses to the embarrassing ECSL drama relating to the release of what they believe was the final disaggregated final voter register. Just within hours of ECSL's official release of that data to political parties, they shocked everyone and the world by recalling the final voter registration, which they have spent an inordinate amount of time on the basis that they submitted to the political parties. What was submitted was a wrong copy. If an electoral commission, with all its multitude, technical, professional staffs, could not discern the appropriate copy of such a sensitive and highly critical document from garbage before sharing with election shareholders, how would anyone trust their capacity and ability and genuinity to effectively run credible elections? State capture of the ECSL makes it worrying that this institution no longer has the free will to conduct elections in a free, fair, and transparent manner. The government has ensured that all the commissioners are sympathetic to the ruling party, and they themselves have confirmed this suspicion by their actions and statements. A few months ago, there was a leaked audio circulating on social media of the Electoral Commissioner South, Mr. Edmund Alpha, condemning the international community for their push for transparency in the electoral process and suggesting that they were trying to implement a regime change agenda. More recently, the senior management of the ECSL were seen posing for a picture with SLPP's pre-election campaign post. Within the sub-region, Salone remains one of the last beacons of democracy. In the last 5 years, the SLPP has been deliberate about democratic reversal. And the signs are now very clear that they seem all set to kill and bury our hard-won democracy under the guise of discipline and the rule of law. President Bio and the SLPP should know that the APC, which is a grassroots party and therefore a Congress party of all Sierra Leoneans, stands ready to gallantly and unapologetically defend our democracy by every legal and democratic. Failure by President Bio and the SLPP-led government to heed to the aforementioned considerations before the election on 24th of June 2023 will leave the APC with no option but to conclude that the SLPP's intention, goal and primary objective is not to conduct free, fair and non-violent credible elections. Accordingly, the APC will therefore demand that Mr. Mohamed Kone and all electoral commissioners resign from and its SLPP-led government to heed to the aforementioned considerations before the elections on the 24th of June 2023. We leave the APC with no option but to conclude that the SLPP's intention, its goal and primary objective is not to conduct free, fair, non-violent and credible elections. Therefore, accordingly, the APC will demand that Mr. Mohamed Kone and all electoral commission resign forthwith to be replaced by an independent, internationally accredited team. We, the APC, are demanding for resignation of electoral commissioner, chief electoral commissioner, to be replaced by an independent, internationally accredited team of electoral commissioners and experts who will conduct fresh, electoral processes. To date, ECSL has demonstrated unprecedented lack of transparency, inclusiveness, and accountability. Several of ECSL's actions and inactions relating to the management of the electoral processes have irreparably ripped apart its integrity, its independence, and public trust in its capacity to conduct free, inclusive, and credible elections, whose outcome can be acceptable to the citizens of the country. These demands are timelines. These demands are timelines. These demands have a time dimension, which is within the next 72 hours. I wish to reiterate that all People's Congress Party and the supporting members will not accept any election results tainted by rigging or manipulation. We are steadfast in our commitment to upholding the principles of national unity, democracy, transparency, and above all, upholding the will of the people. Should there be any evidence of election malpractices or any attempt to subvert the integrity of the electoral processes, the APC will utilize all available legal and peaceful means to challenge such actions and ensure that the true voice of the Salone people is heard. It is crucial that the international community here present and above. It is crucial that the international community here present and without stands alongside the people of Sierra Leone in this unequivocal position, firmly rejecting any results that do not reflect the genuine will of the voters. The consequences of allowing electoral manipulation to go unchecked before, during, and after the vote will be detrimental to the democratic aspirations and stability of our beloved nation and sovereignty. We implore all Sierra Leoneans, election observers, civil society organizations, and the entire international community to join the APC in condemning any acts of election rigging and to support efforts to safeguard the integrity of the electoral process. The people of Sierra Leone deserve nothing less than a free, fair, and non-violent and credible election that accurately reflects their choices and aspirations for a robust, democratic, and prosperous Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, I want to call on the people of Sierra Leone. Meanwhile, I want to call on all Sierra Leoneans to come out and vote on the 24th. Come rain, come sunshine, come the usual barrage of bullets, or come anything else, and to protect their votes thereafter. The SLPP will want to use the state security to intimidate the people, but the people will show their power through the ballot box and will ensure that their votes are counted. We cannot and must not allow the SLPP to steal the elections and subject us to another 5 years of hardship, torment, oppression, and divisiveness. The APC is not doing what others do for cheap popularity and popular applause. Our passion and resilience in the pursuit of truth, justice, and accountability are driven by our own convictions and commitment towards a decent, democratic, and peaceful society. I repeat, the APC is not doing what others do for cheap popularity and applause. Hello. Thank you for listening to me. The APC is not doing what others do for cheap popularity and applause. Our passion and resilience in the pursuit of truth, of justice for all, and accountability are driven by our own convictions and commitment towards a decent, democratic, and peaceful society. We will commit to continue to stand firm on these principles. Let me end by demanding that President Bio instructs the immediate release of all those peaceful APC supporters and national patriots who have been unlawfully arrested, molested, and detained, including Ethiopians and many others over the last few years. Please. Let me end by demanding that President Julius Maada Bio instructs the immediate release of all those peaceful APC supporters and national patriots who have been unlawfully arrested, molested, and detained, including Ethiopians and many others over the last few days. I will also implore the President to authorize the security forces to stop intimidating APC members through house searches and vandalization of property. It is alleged by social media that at a recent meeting in the presence of Mr. Mohamed Khaled, the Chief Electoral Commissioner, a selected team of SLPP hired thugs will be put together to conduct planned raids on several polling stations on the APC strongholds on election day with a view to disrupt the voting processes or cause overvoting, leading to cancellation of such polling stations. Of course, as a peaceful and law-abiding citizen, I, Samura Madi, Wilson Kumar, I would want to believe that this information, I wouldn't want to believe this information at all of these dogs. And I also believe so must President Bio. He also was not believe to this piece of information. I am convinced, very much so, that in the course of time, there will be more revelations on any surreptitious plans the SNPP to rig and win the 2024 June elections outside the regular and unlawful vote. And we shall deal with these revelations accordingly. In God we trust. Let me also make it emphatically clear that based on engagements and polls conducted by the APC, it is extremely clear that the president and his powerful government are hugely unpopular, and the voters have very little confidence in their ability to fix the most pressing problems facing the country right now, including a divided nation, a collapsed economy, and the cost of living crisis. Given that I, Samora Amadu Wilson Kamara, I am the preferred choice of the majority of the Sierra Leoneans, and I do represent their best hope and the most suited to handle these challenges, I am confident of victory. Any result that does not reflect this will be seriously called suppression. Since 2018, this powerful government, since 2018, this powerful government has shown that it does not care about due processes. It does not respect the will of the people. It has no human face. Should the government attempt to challenge or subvert the will of the people, there will be dire consequences for the peace and stability of Sierra Leone, and even graver international consequences for those persons who are found wanting in any plan to usurp power from the people. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, vote APC, June 24, 2023. Vote APC. Vote Samora Kamara. Vote to save Mozambique. Thank you. God bless.